Happy Easter to you all. So we celebrate Easter to show how Christ resurrected himself. The Spirit, that is Christ, has to resurrect out of the material manifestation of the divine itself. The matter is manifested because we ourselves have created it. Not that we are born out of matter, our body, but we are attached to it. We want it. We want to have it. Whatever you want, that sustains itself by your desire. Because now you are on the stage. If you want to sustain the matter, if you want to keep the matter as the first priority, it will remain. It cannot disappear. It has to go out of your mind. That matter cannot hold you any further. Christ rose out of the matter, came out of the tomb, which symbolizes the matter which has enclosed us within, which has to be opened out with our spiritual power. Throw away the stone that is covering this grave. Get out of that and stand outside it. This is the message of Christ's resurrection. The tomb that we have created ourselves because we have allowed people to dominate us. We have allowed them to make these graves for us. We have allowed them to bury Christ within ourselves. Because we were afraid. But Christ has to rise. So we create our own matter. Through our conditionings, through our fears, through our absolute wrong ideas about goodness and kindness and compassion. In the light of the Spirit, you can see what we think as compassion is nothing but a kind of a sympathy which leads you nowhere. But one should learn to see everything in the light of the Spirit. But do we use all the time the light of the Spirit? We do not. For Christ, it was not difficult because he was the Spirit. But he has shown you the way. He crucified himself to show you the way. All the ideas about sophistication, about our standing in the society, how we relate ourselves to other dignitaries or to our country, to our politics, to our economics, and the world at large. All of them can tie us down to that tomb. You belong to another category, I have told you 100 times. and a category which is a spirit, which can rise about all the tombs, can throw away everything. This way you are conditioned. All absurd ideas have been accepted which you cannot explain why you were conditioned like this. Why I talk more of conditioning? Because of England. English are very much conditioned people. The others are Americans who are abandoned. I mean, you can't talk to them about anything because they cannot be rooted into anything. But English are too much conditioned people. And when they are too much conditioned, they build their own tombs. All these ideas are to be seen with a new dimension of awareness that you have. You are the spirit. Why should you worry about anything else but your vibrations? Because you are saints. You should just worry about the comfort of your spirit. Whatever congenial to your spirit, just go on doing that, observing that, accumulating that, and sucking within yourself. All conditionings will run away because these conditionings you accept because they look comfortable. They look comfortable, but they are not. Christ is a great example, and if He is the one whom you follow, if He is the one whom you have understood and recognized in the light of your spirit, then you must know why did He go into the grave. First of all, the man was so powerful, who when He'll come, He'll reduce all of them into ashes. Such a great personality like him of Ekadasha Rudra. Why did Christ allowed Himself to be crucified and to be buried into that? Because He wanted to stoop down to the level of other people, to come down to that level so that people should see that through His life He has shown that you can be resurrected. Now the resurrection has taken place. Sahajogis are resurrected, no doubt, but still one foot is in the grave. And the second one, I don't know whether it will be out or it is just halfway through. One foot is, of course, outside, no doubt, but still is not yet touching the grounds. And the other one cannot be lifted unless you push the ground. This matter again to push it out. So, if you live with your spirit, you should have no fears. You should have no worry. See now, I'll tell you how God is showing His ways here. Like in Durham, the fellow is now under complete fire. He doesn't know what to do. And he himself is so stupid, as Sanskrit saying is, that vinashakale viparita buddhi. When your destruction time comes, you think of all perverted things. Viparita buddhi. So his tongue, see to the way he speaks, blasphemous. And he is under fire. He himself lit the fire and now sitting on top of it. And now when he gets the heat, the heated words come out of his mouth. We don't have to do anything. It's all done already. They are baked and cooked in their own. So why should we have fear? But we should know what is right and what is wrong. That's only possible because you are with the Absolute, that is the Spirit. And related to the Absolute, if you do everything related to it, you are doing the right thing. If you are related to Christ, how can you do wrong? That's one of the proofs that they are not Christians of any kind. Because none of the Christian organizations have done anything good whatsoever except for creating fire for themselves. So you can see clearly how this conditioning has worked within us, because we have been so-called Christians, we've been going to churches, we have been worshipping Christ as they told us, the way they told us we worshipped Him, everything regimented. The one who came to resurrect us from the bondage of the grave, we used Him to build our graves. Now you are out of it, thank God. But take out the other foot, fast. This is one advantage you have because you have Christ before you. But also there's a disadvantage because Christ has been used to shut you down in the grave. So change your concept about Christ. Know Him through your vibrations, what He was. As a child I knew what was going wrong with Christians. And left and right little girl like me, about 7 years, I used to give big lectures. Even when I was baptized, I was horrified. The way I was baptized by some stupid fellow. I didn't know what was he up to. And then he put a booth on my head, I think, or something, which hovered round, and we met with a very big accident. I fell down. This booth must have put it in the horse, I think, or somewhere. Another booth. This priest, the stupid fellow, he belonged to the Lutheran church. I don't know what you call of that. Lutheran, imagine, Martin Luther's church. And that's how they baptized me. I knew all about it, but I didn't know what to do. I must have kicked him quite a lot. But whatever it is, so-called, he baptized me. I had to accept all foolish, stupid things in this life because I had to show I was quite normal. Accepting stupid is normal these days. And to tolerate an idiot is even more normal. So I had to show that. But I knew very well what sort of a thing it was this fellow was up to. And I accepted the nonsense he did. And many other things I accepted just to show that I am nothing special. But I knew all about it. And when I saw the way Christ was described, I was aghast. I said, what are they doing to Christ? Nicely, second crucifixion going on. You also know about it. Thank God there are so many to whom I can talk and they understand my language. But the resurrection will not be complete unless and until you pull out many out of their graves. I don't know how you'll go about it. Look at this fellow, Durham gets such a publicity. When he's doing all blasphemous things, he's getting all the credit and kudos from people. What about us? What are we doing? Why not we write to the newspapers? Why not we talk to them? Observer has given us a clue, I think. There's one gentleman, Mr. Wilson, he wrote a quite nice thing. Why not write to him some letters? Get to him. Because, you see, what I'm little concerned about this matter is, as it is, they are half-hearted Christians. Now, if this Durham fellow speaks like that, who is now the big authority on Christianity, Christ, his mother and everybody else, Mr. Durham. And now this fellow, if he goes on like this, those who are half-baked will already fall off to communism. And the rest of them who may remain also, they may accept him. So the Anglicans, the Anglo-Saxon brain, I am saying, is going to accept Mr. Durham very well, I can see that. Or else they will just leave and become communists. Have nothing to do with this God who has so many problems. So, in this seminar of yours in Birmingham when you have, I would like you to think over this new thing that has come up in the heart of the universe. Everyone knows about Durham fellow. They know his plight, everything. But what about us? We are so many. Let us try to find out how we can talk to these people sensibly, talk to these Anglicans, find out about them, and communicate to them what you have found out. You need not say in the beginning only that I am the Adishakti or I am the Redeemer and the Comforter that Christ has said. But we can start talking about it. Find out these people, these Anglicans, church people, churchgoers who believe in God, who believe in Christ. I mean, they are voting. Can you imagine? They are voting whether Christ was true or not. Can you vote like that? You feel you are in a lunatic asylum or what? It's terrible. They are taking votes. Can you imagine such a thing like that? At this moment we have an advantage because they are so much confused to give them concrete idea as to what is God, what is Christ, what is religion. One side I feel very hurt and unhappy. I think these 3 days I have gone through real resurrection myself. The way things have been about Christ, just I can't bear it. And it is too much. You all should be stirred also, should be concerned. And you must go through it and see what you can do. And tell them, are you all mad or what? Why don't you listen to sanity? As you know, when I went to Australia, it's a different country altogether. They are much more sensible people than you are. I think the way they were exiled, they learnt a lesson and they are better. So I feel the English have to go into exile or jail for a while to understand what is sanity. They are very sensible, extremely sensible people. You can talk to them, sense. Everyone. The media is sensible, the people are sensible, thousands of them came, they repeated. The first program we had once, it was 1600, 2000. Can you imagine such people? And out of them repeats were 600. Now for the last how many years we are having the same 600 people again and again. What seminars are we going to do, all of us sitting and cooking some chicken, that's all? Or making some cake for mother which she doesn't eat. Let us take out our satisfactions from these little things into something bigger. Let us talk about it without fear. We have to go and talk and tell people about it. Take it a big way. There should be no hindrance on this point. We are a very big group. We can assert and we can talk and meet people. the situation has improved a lot, because now I have to go to India, as you know, and in India, for me the situation is much better. It's not at all difficult. As you know, I went to the hills at the foothill of Himalayas. But 3,000 people came from all over the little villages that they had. They didn't take even a second to recognize me. They were singing the praise of the goddess of the hills, goddess of the tigers, goddess of the lions. They started singing my praise without any lecture or anything. They were all joyous that I've been there, and they knew, and they accepted me and finished. I have to just put my foot down there and I've done. Jaipur, they said, Mother, you just put your foot here. Really? So for me the situation is very good in India. Now let's see what you people are going to do with these big seminars and lectures. Why not get some outsiders to listen to you? Invite them. Invite these intellectuals. Try to talk to them. Tell them, what is it? What do you call them? Those who know about Bible? Huh?
Theologians.
What?
Theologians.
Oh, theologians. What? Logians, without logics. Theologians. Call these theologians. Challenge them. Why not put a challenge? You are not alone. You are so many. And don't tell them you wear saris when you come for my puja. They won't understand it. They are not that deep. You can wear your jeans. Or to convince them more, you can be punks. That would appeal them better. You go with your punky conditions, they'll jolly well have to listen to you, otherwise they are in for trouble. If they are that stupid, why not handle them? It's very easy to handle a stupid person than to handle a person who is not stupid nor who is clever. Stupid can be stupefied very easily. So I think we have to change our course, we have to take it in a big way. The whole thing, what we are going to do. All of you should give some concrete ideas as to what you would like to do. And that would be really the way it will work out. So now in the seminar you must discuss more how to talk to these people, how to create a platform for SahajaYoga. Find out how do they create a platform out of nothing, like these punks. And once you do all these things, you will be surprised that they will have to listen. They'll have to listen to. Now go full ahead. I'm giving you all freedom. Do what you want. Except for telling them that I am Adi Shakti. That they won't be able to digest. That an Indian has become now the Adi Shakti. They think now Adi Shakti has to be an English lady. At least French. So don't mention me. If you want, you can. But don't mention me as guru or anything, but you should say, she's the lady who showed us the way and or something like that. not referring much to me, but to them, I think you should go ahead with it and work it out. Because now we have had a lot of patience and all nonsense going round us. Better tell them. Or are you going to allow all of them to go to hell direct? Message of Easter. East comes from East. I don't know why they call it Easter. Have you ever thought of it? Why do they call it a Worcester sauce? I don't know. I don't know why they call anything anything. But Easter, you can't explain, like her screen. You don't know. So I don't know, but Easter, it is coming from the East. The wisdom has to come from the East. The resurrection has to come from the East, whether they like it or not. And that is the message of Easter today. That let us give them the chance of resurrection by talking to them. All of you should make it a point. Go and talk to people who are in charge of theology, churches, Bibles. Go and talk to them. Tell them, what are you doing? Are you mad? Why do you want to mislead people? You don't know anything. Another thing I would suggest, that we should have regular classes to understand SahajaYoga properly. I have seen some people who are Sahajogis for years, don't know anything about Sahaja. Even in Bombay, people told that some of the ladies are absolutely zero as far as Sahaja is concerned. They don't understand what is Sahaja is. They don't understand what are the chakras are. They listen to your lecture, everything, and then like a bubble, the whole thing disappears from their minds. I don't know who gave them these ideas, but they were quite shocked. So let us have a class like thing for Sahajogis to different topics and subjects. Let us work it out. Recently, you must be knowing, there's a book going to be published by Yogi Mahajan called Gita Enlightened, which is a very good book. Of course, most of it I have helped him, he's been with me and all that. But it doesn't matter, but he's understood the subject. The other day, they published a very beautiful book in Marathi, once Suravkar. Such a learned book he wrote, that in the light of Gyaneshwara, what is Sahaja? And he's written it so well that anybody who's a theologian or anything like in India will be impressed by it. I wish I could translate that book for you. But it's all the stanzas from Gyaneshwara, which is in Marathi language. He wrote such a nice book on Sahaja, and that is what he gave me on my birthday this time. Something so substantial, I felt. And once it reaches into the hands of any one of these people, it will, in any case. And he published himself. He brought some copies, gave it to me. And all the copies were sold out in that program. Every copy was sold out for 2 rupees each. So this is what we have to do now, is to write to different magazines, meet people, tell them we want to come and talk to you. First of all, you must know about Sahaja. You should be well equipped. It's not that you can show my photograph with a light here. That's not sufficient. What is the light here also you have to show. Only a few people know what is SahajaYoga. The rest of you don't know anything. Let us see what questions we have in our mind. Let us sit down and find out what are the questions. What questions are we lacking in? What we have to understand in SahajaYoga? What part we don't know? Let's find out all those things, all the details. Let us write it down. Every one of you, whether it's a woman, man, child, everyone can do it. Find out what are the questions which are not yet answered in SahajaYoga. How can we answer particular questions? All right? All these things can be found out. If you put your attention to it, you can easily find out what you need. Everyone has to do it. You must be all equipped. If anybody asks you a question about Sahaja, and if you cannot answer, I mean, how can you convince people? You take one ordinary so-called layman for Christianity. So-called Christianity again. The man is layman and the Christianity is also lay. He will give a big lecture on Christ. Every verse in the Bible will tell you chapter, Matthew 2, verse 2, this is what Christ has said. That you will be calling me Christ, Christ, and I will not recognize you. Telling about himself only. So you have to be absolutely equipped for it. Now you have to also know what you will confront in a particular country. For example, when I come to England, I know I have to confront these theologians and the Christ and everything. If I go to India, what I have to confront, I know. I have to face it on different lines and different fronts. You don't have to do that. Just think about your own country. French have to think about France. You people have to think about this country. And then go ahead with it. You can chalk out a good program and work it out properly. I'm sure by God's grace everything will work out. Because when are we going to do it now? I'm going away, as I told you, to India, and I don't know when will I be back. You wanted to arrange my program to England, in England, but I think I cannot do it. Because I have to go around to all the places, Europe and all that, finish that. You better do that, touring. When I was not here, what touring did you do? Nothing. You could have toured. Now at least these 3 months, when we are having a nice summertime, I'll be traveling all over Europe, everywhere. You please see that you go around England, visit different places, arrange programs, talk to people, find out who are the big Johnnies there. The mayors, this, that. Go and talk to them. Tell them about this. That is how new programming should be done, and a new dimension should be given to our SahajaYoga propaganda. We have done no propaganda in the right sense, in the sense that we were not so much sure about it, that will work out. But now we will, because people are writing. There's an atmosphere against Christ. So we have to fight. And that's how we should become the people who are fighting for Christ. Now there could be areas where you can talk of integration, of talking about how we do not know much about Christ, that we have to go to other books to find out who he was, why did he come on this earth. We have to go much deeper. We have to prove that there is divine power, and you have seen how divine power works, what wonders there are. You take my photographs, show them, these are the photographs, can you explain these things, that in the hand you see the sun. Show us in Mrs. Thatcher's hand, even a star won't twinkle. These things are to be seen in the right perspective and at the right time. We must do whatever is right at that point. That is the way SahajaYoga is. Hit the point when it is to be hit. If you cannot do that way, you cannot achieve it. So this is the right time for you. These are now 3 months ahead of you. I would like you to see what you can do, because now the sun will be coming out. We'll have a nice summer. Go ahead with it. But now just do not fix all your holidays during these three months going to some beach somewhere. Sahajogis have no time. They are busy people. They have no time to waste. We are on a war path. We have no time to quarrel among ourselves, fight. We have to fight very great enemies. We have no time to waste on our families and our children and our relations and father, mother, sister, brother. We are on a war path. Very important it is. So let us now prepare ourselves. As Christ stood out of that grave, let us get out of this grave of lethargy, of compromising, of comfort, of our past ideas about life's pleasures. This is the new era that has to show its manifestation in this country. It's very important, and you all can do it. You have to be very brave, you have to be sensible, wise, kind, and also forthright. But you have to say what you have to say, because it has to be said. And this is the only thing to be said, nothing else is important. Whatever these people talk about has no meaning. They are not mantras. Some of them are anti-God, some may not be, but they are useless, wasteful, garbages, I should say. Why? They are given so much importance and not the real thing that is there. You understand that this is the reality that has come into you people. Actually, you have felt the reality. Actually, you know the reality. You are in the reality. Why not talk about it? Why should we not? Is it not the most important thing that we have to do? If you realize it, I'm sure it will work out. With all my blessings, with all my love, I really command you to do that now. May God bless you. Today on this day, you all should vow that we are on the war path and we are going to find out ways and methods of doing this thing for these 3 months. We are going to work it out. Just vow. Just ask for wisdom and the spiritual power. That's all. And promise it to Christ that as you did, we are going to do. May God bless you.